Hello, good morning, everybody. Today, we've got a very exciting session to have a chat together with Mellonie Francis, a founder of RU B2B. Mellonie, it's so nice to finally meet you again on our event. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm so glad we got to do this. We got chatted a while back now, so I'm really happy to see you again, Laura, and chat some more. It was amazing having you on our podcast. We got so much value from that. So yeah, thanks for having me on here.
So nice. And well, we could do a little bit of a kind of question here for people who are joining us. I'm thinking that anybody would like to have a wildest guess where Mellonie is at the moment, because I'm in Denmark, it's awful weather, and it's like autumn all the time. And let's try to guess where Mellonie is. It's not that cold, I would say.
Not at all.
That's
Not
really
at
good.
all.
What did you, if so, you just arrived, as I understand. What did you do the recent days over there so people can just like try to guess where you are?
Well, you get to go for a beach swim quite often. So what you find yourself is, you finish work and go for a beach walk and then a swim, and watch the sunset. So because I guess I get to finish work because the time zone's a little bit different. It's 3 hours behind from Australia, which is my actual location on LinkedIn. So I'm not in Australia. Someone guessed Sydney, I just saw. But so I not in Australia. So yeah, even though my LinkedIn says I'm somewhere else. So yeah, 3 hours difference. And so I finish for the day and I'm always going for a beach swim and a dip. And Australia is getting too cold right now to kind of do the beach swim, guys. So that's
I
the
could
thing.
show you how cold it is right now out there. I was doing a cold plunge yesterday in Denmark, so this is how cold it is.
Wow. I hope cold plunges are really, really good for you though. They have that here as well to do.
I think sun is better for me than the cold plunges, though. It's like, and another note for my Dream Data friends who are here. Actually, Mellonie is in the same country as Vicky is. You know where it is. She is. Ah, yes, you do. All right. So Mellonie is in Bali right now, and we're streaming it from here. I really hope that we're going to have an amazing session talking about ChatGPT today. Everybody's talking about ChatGPT, and you're like, oh, now we're going to have all those influencers and experts of doing stuff and so on. And we're just going to have a chill chat about how can you use ChatGPT for marketing? How can you use it for LinkedIn? Are there any other use cases for it as well? And let's figure out if we're going to have some more influencers who will be like specialists in ChatGPT prompts or something. So Mellonie, did you start already using ChatGPT?
Started using ChatGPT back in November as part of the whole business transformation that we did. So we knew that we want to be a progressive business. That's something that's really, really important in my values, and that's why I love hanging out with companies that are also very progressive, like Dream Data, and keeping my pulse really on what's going on. So we integrated back in November, and honestly, like the first time I touched the tool, I was like, everyone's job's gone. Like I was like, it's gone, it's over. Like we need to like pretty much just call it as we see it. Like, I was almost like just everyone just gonna have to sit down and like really have to understand what's your future. And that's how amazed I was in the moment. But over time, I think it's actually gotten a little bit dumber because so many people are talking to it. It hasn't, and it's gotten tougher now as well to like really chat to it. So it was actually much more easier. Now it actually gives you like back going, no, I'm not going to do that. Like if you actually go to ChatGPT and you ask it to write a carousel for you, it actually has been now programmed to say you can go over to Canva and tools like that to create a carousel. Yeah. Yeah. Like it started like sort of teaching it, and you have to like prompt it again. And I've got some cheat sheets and prompts on how you can actually get over that, because I was like, what? And initially you could just dump so much data in it. Like I would just like dump like, our podcast together, Laura, like, which was amazing. Like I could just dump all of that transcript and go, can you just give me like, a summary of this podcast so I can just include in the description? And like, yes. But then like literally 2-3 weeks later, it was like, no, sorry, that's just too much text. So we're only going to allow you to put 1,000 characters in now. So you have to like feed it like a little bit at a time now. And, that's time consuming. Like now, and you're now competing with Otter, who it can also give you the summary very quickly of your chat. So they've already integrated to AI. So, it's not like, it's got its challenges. It takes time. Like if you've got a senior staff member sitting there posting, here are every sections, you've really got to think, is this the best usage of my staff's time feeding it, copying and pasting 1,000 text.
So it's not like what you used Google for to answer some of the questions, but now you can ask ChatGPT questions to help you out on stuff. But it's very interesting. Now you're saying it's getting dumber. Talk me a little bit through about that. It's like, what did you experience so far?
Yeah, like, so in the sense, like when I first told it, like, write me a LinkedIn caption. So I'm going to share my screen. I'll show you guys a post that I did. And
very excited.
And it went viral. It was written by ChatGPT. My client actually didn't even know because I actually gave him 2 options. I was like, here's 2 captions. I said that, no, I'm trying 2 writers, and I saw what he went for. So I'll just do you guys see this?
Not yet. Not yet. It should. Oh, I should be sharing like this. Here it goes.
Has it come up?
Yeah, it has come up. We can see that. Yeah.
So this particular post, right, that is written. So I gave 2 options, and my client went viral on this post.
Could you zoom into the text a little bit? It's very difficult to see.
You want me to zoom into it?
Into the text, yeah.
How's that?
A little more. A little more. There it goes. Yeah.
So, look, it was like a good piece, it was depth and so forth. But I offered like, okay, tell me your story, gave me the story. I punched it into ChatGPT and say, write me a caption. Actually, the secret prompt is write me an emotional caption if you really want to know. That's the prompt. That's the secret prompt rather than write me a caption for this. And it wrote me a caption I said, write me a caption based on this story. And I, put the story, the transcription of the story in, and it wrote it. I think it got like, 30,000 views on it. And funnily enough, the client actually chose this over a human post. And that's why at that time I was like completely freaking out, going, oh my God, like that is what's going to be, the win. Like humans are going to prefer ChatGPT over ghostwriters.
So exciting and a little bit scary in a way, because one of the things that a lot of people are saying, oh, but now we're going to feed in LinkedIn with like crazy stuff and boring stuff that nobody wants to read anymore because it's going to be the same. What's your take about that?
Well, I think that the secret is in actually gathering unique thought and then using ChatGPT to just help you like a ghostwriter would help you. So, when like you're sometimes writing and you feel like, oh, I wish someone would just write this better for me. I feel like an editor would just come in. I think that's the way to use it to empower you rather than tell it to, just, can you write me like a topic on this? And it's just regurgitating the content it's getting. But what I'm really fascinated by and into is pure thought leadership content, which is unique. And I don't use it to help me generate ideas or angles like some people do, feed it that. But I will literally feed it like my actual, copy or my thoughts, and maybe it's like doesn't sound really good like when I'm sharing it, but I tell it to like write me like, a great storyline, or write me a great story, or write me a great caption on this thought. And it's just like, it could be bullet points, it could be just a transcription of a section of this podcast, like just like, here it is, because it can only read text, unfortunately. That's where it's at right now.
Yeah.
So that actually ends up working. I think the people that are saying, oh, it's really not that great, it's really generic, they're using it in a way that they just want to pump out content, like massive amounts of content. And it does start sounding very much the same, especially if you don't know that detail of the prompt on how to, like, think about, I said emotional caption, like I've actually prompting it to say, I want an emotional caption. I think that was a trick there that I prompted it. Also, I ask it sometimes, give me a funny comment, when you need a comment and you want it to be like, read this caption and give me funny comments because your brain's not working. Like it will work for you to help you. I haven't done that, but I know like some people, like they have taught me that, and I can see like that's where it's coming from. So you won't even know it is ChatGPT that's helping person out.
Wow, this is really exciting. And kind of thinking back, like personally, for example, I'm not very funny, and I never can come up with anything funny for comments or like quick responses or anything. But that could help you out to drag more engagement through comments. Even you post your own stuff if you think this is where you want to go, but use it for like smaller, to save your time, to be more personal in a way that, well, but it's not you anymore. What the?
Yeah, it's not you unless there's a secret. If you want it to be you, there's a way to prompt it to be you. So, by the way, there's a ChatGPT little extension you can actually put into your Google Chrome so that it can actually generate the comments for you while you're browsing on LinkedIn. Yeah. So it just sits on top of your Chrome, and then you can just say, generate comments for this post. So you don't have to like, cross screen so much.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's what it's come out with. So in terms of like, I think what we were talking about just before was, it's not you anymore. And there's a lot of prompting to make it sound like you. So there's actually some secrets on how to make it sound like you, Laura, or me. And so let me show you like how I go about getting the tone to be like quite perfect. So I actually prepared this little doc, this little cheat sheet that I'm happy to share with Laura so that it can be passed on.
Oh my God, this is so exciting. Yeah.
Yeah,
could you
so
do a little bit more so everybody could see it?
More. Yeah. Is that better?
Yeah, much better. Thank you.
Okay, so everyone's struggling with tone, saying it doesn't sound like you. So you really have to teach it what that tone is. And I haven't gone to the depth, but I think you could probably name that tone so you could keep recalling it. But you can say, can you write in this tone? Do not write anything until instructed, because it'll just start writing. So that's why I added this little new cheat sheet, little cheat thing that I learned from, I don't know if you guys know about the guy called Ruben. His name's Ruben Hassid. Like really, he's become so big in like 3 months, just talking about ChatGPT alone on LinkedIn. Do you know about him, Laura?
No, I don't. Could you put his name into the chat for people right now?
Let me put it in right now. So you guys into the private chat. So Ruben Hassid, I can actually open him up and share his prompts because he literally started LinkedIn 3 months ago and he's just become huge. So I'll actually share some of his tips. That's where, I'll share the screen with you in a second with him, but I've put it in the chat. So mine's not as like, in detail as him, but I think it makes a little bit more easier sense because he's just gone like, he prompts so much. So what I do is like, if you want someone to pick up your tone, like say, you should share the tone already that you've written in. So if I was like writing for Laura, I would pick up already like captions that Laura has so that I get ChatGPT to understand Laura's tone. And I would share like 3 of your posts with it Laura, so that it understands your tone and what you've written already. And then I would instruct it to say, please keep the above tone and turn this thought into a caption. And I would get that thought from you, Laura. So if you came on my podcast, which you recently did, like, if you shared a thought leadership, I would paste it in there. And then I could then go back and deliver that that caption back to you in your tone.
This is nuts.
So I can get tone because I taught it the tone. And the more I give it, because I've got limitations, I couldn't share more than 3 tones, right? So
Yeah.
That's the limitation, because how much is it able to understand from 3 of your posts because of but I think in the upgraded version that they're releasing, it's going to let you put in like up to 4,000 words, and so it's going to really let you go for your life. So yeah, that is a cheat, is like you need to actually teach it the tone, and then you can keep going and saying, write a caption using initial thought, again using this thought. So you can get tone, I believe, quite closely, and then it's just a little bit of edit for you then left. So from a ghostwriting perspective, I do think like that they can be much more faster than what they traditionally maybe were if they use this.
Right. And especially when we're talking about, is it going to take over our jobs and so on? Talk me through that. I've got my ideas, but talk me through that. What do you think, how it will change people's jobs?
I don't think it's going to take the jobs. I think what will happen is really smart ghostwriters and copywriters will become really great prompt engineers, and they will be able to do their job more efficiently and effectively, and probably make way more money if they know how to use it to help them, so they can actually go to the beach, at 4:00 and finish early. So my top ghostwriters are already using it, and I can see the advantage, and I'm like more keen to send them work because, they can do it like an hour quicker than say someone else, and they're able to deal with more difficult clients, which really helps me out, like who are feeding them like essays and essays because they're just punching that in. So I think that the smart copywriters who are really onto this are going to be, there's just going to be more work for them. There's just more abundance. You want to send people that are not complaining because they have to read like 5 essays, because you can ask ChatGPT, can you please break down this essay and just summarize it into a couple of dot points for me so I can understand it. So I don't think it's about, the job still exists. It's just whether you can do it better than someone else.
This is so exciting. It's like, I did not expect this to be this exciting. And I really love our chat. One thing that I noticed, a comment that we could talk a little bit about. So what Graham is writing is that people will stop trusting written content. What's your take on it?
I don't know, because I would love to see more video content, like I personally love the ability to use video, but I don't know. I just feel like that the older age demographic, like the 40s plus, I feel like they are going to stay in their era. Like, I don't know, or they're going to either stay in that era and they're going to consume, or I think people learn in different ways as well. So some people actually preference written content. I don't know why. It's like, how there's like different learning styles. Like some people like a visual learner, some people are enjoying X content, but so I'm not sure, because look at LinkedIn, and LinkedIn controls a lot of the consumption. Like, look at how much they pushed carousels, so we all had to like start still doing like written content, like LinkedIn actually, I reckon, wants to do this written style content because none of the other platforms actually take that kind of content, and you can't reshare it because they want to have like this intellectual, like a style of content creators in their platform. So yes, I think they'll stop trusting it, but don't you think like LinkedIn controls a lot of the formatting based on the algorithm and what they're pushing? What do you think, Laura?
I have a story to share. So I work in sales, And I reached out to somebody to book a meeting. And that person responded back that he wants to book a meeting. But the response was like, the my message was a little longer, but it was like kind of, oh, we were working with this. Would you like to meet our CEO to figure out of how this match into that specific niche that you're working in? And his response was like really into the point of everything I was saying. So thank you for reaching out. And I would like to have a meeting with your CEO to help me on those priorities and so on. My first answer to him was this a ChatGPT question answer? And his answer was, yes, I'm testing this. I'm trying to train my dragon. It's like, so if, for me, I mean, I think people will have to become more and more creative
Yeah.
in their own ways. So even prompting ChatGPT to be you will be
Yeah.
something that it will be very important. And people
Correct.
will have to start being more creative. How do I mix it up? Do I add some pictures? Do I add a carousel? How should I make it sound like me or be attractive to the eye? Because,
Correct.
well, ChatGPT will also know what's attractive for the eye just in a second. It can read pictures, it can read videos, it can see a lot of things. So, how can you make it you? How do I add a hat to the picture? Or whatever it is, you know? So,
Correct. I don't think it's like whenever I've asked it to write an email, it's been like not that great unless it's like greetings. It starts with, and it's like I don't think it's like there to replace the content. I think what it's doing is like if you've got reader's block or it's not you don't have a ghostwriter on side right then and there, it can produce a draft for you to get you going.
yeah. Yeah. We're kind of becoming really speedy humans as well because, well, you still want to read books, but for those big white papers where you actually have to speed read and skim stuff, you can ask and prompt it to summarize it for you. What's
Exactly.
not to like?
Exactly. So I love this by Debbie. That's so strong. Like
Yeah,
that.
she's writing people won't be replaced by AI tools, but they will be replaced by people who use AI tools.
Exactly.
100%. Like, be
Exactly.
clever using it. Use
Yeah,
it.
exactly. I love that.
Yeah. One more thing that we're supposed to have a chat about is how to use ChatGPT in your marketing funnels. And it's not only for LinkedIn, but in marketing.
Correct. So I don't know how at Dream Data how you guys are using it, but look, we go all the way through from how you move outbound LinkedIn messaging all the way through to your email. So my funnel, how it works is twofold. So our funnel is focused on we push out content on LinkedIn and we then also do outbound. And then we bring all those people in and we introduce them to our newsletter. Okay. And then there's blogs and so forth. So we used it in all the way through our full funnel. And I don't feel like with emails, like it was very, very strong. I didn't get a good experience. It's like it doesn't understand how to colloquially, how we actually write emails. I don't know what data it's been fed to teach it emails, but my gut feeling is because emails are not that available on Google, like, best emails, or maybe they just couldn't like crawl that data. So its understanding of email seems like it's very limited. I don't know if that's going to get better. So, and that then relates with blogs. I think it can do well because there's so much blog content out there. So it can mimic a lot of stuff I found. But yeah, I didn't have a really great. And then for LinkedIn outreach, like, how you outreach someone, how you connect with someone emotionally, sales team tried it thinking, it's going to be better than them. But again, I think because that data is so protected, it's not like something we all publish and go, this is my, secret outreach strategy that I'm using right now. Because if you expose that, someone else will copy it and then it becomes old. So you kind of want to keep that IP. If it's working for you, I don't want to go share that with everyone because then everyone starts using it and then it becomes old. So it didn't have the data to really write really good, sales, outbound message sequence. It just doesn't have it. So I think any data that's available that it can mirror, I felt it did well. Like if it was available on Google, if it was available on maybe social to an extent, it could understand. Is that your experience as well?
I used to work at an open source company before. And open source is basically sharing code and making it better and sharing it back again. So people for free write code and share it with everybody else, just in order to make the code better. And this is where I see it's exactly the same. As long as we are keeping our own secrets, we're only going to get better as much as we can get better. And that is very, very limited. But if we're able to get that kind of a common understanding together, that if we're sharing this, we're not giving away the secret, we're actually going to grow more because other people will also contribute to the code, to the chat's knowledge of what is the best prompt. Because even sales outreaches, they change like monthly. Before in time, you should do this. Now you're going to do that because people want to outreach like one or the other way. People find those ways, but slower. But if you share that with everybody else, I don't think it's a competitive advantage to lose at all. I think it's the other way. The more you share, the more you get back and the faster we grow together.
Yeah. I don't know how much ChatGPT though takes what you're telling it. Like I tried to teach it one time that, I'm like, yeah, we're the best LinkedIn agency marketing agency around town. Like I actually tried to force it to accept this knowledge. I was like, I just want to know, like, is it like back in the Google days, like where you just like say stuff and then it'll just like, absorb. And so I taught it, and then I told my teammate to go in and ask it like, a day later, like, but it didn't, like, I don't know how many times you need to actually teach it, for it to then, because then we could all be telling it stuff. So I've also had situations where my team told it like 2 + 2 is 5, and you're wrong. Like it's not 2 + 2 is 4. And then it apologized and said, yes, you're right.
That's actually very interesting as well to look into that angle, that if we're able to teach it things from what other people are asking, imagine if somebody created a crowd of ChatGPTs who are just going in and prompting shit.
Correct.
And then it's coming back the other way with shit.
Yeah, like what if it was asking, like, what is the best companies for data analytics? Like everyone wants to be mentioned there. So how would you get the result you want? Like back in Google days, if you remember, we used to do all the backlinks, or you would just create pages and pages, and the more pages you had that pointed to this one page, that's the winning page. So I think, and there was a lot of manipulation, like what is going to happen here? How people are going to be like, people are going to manipulate this thing. So how is it going to protect itself as well? Like how many times do you think you have to teach it X for it to believe it? I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, we're just going to sit back, use it, and watch it. I can see Coletti is asking about, has anyone used it in other non-English language? And we had an answer that ChatGPT is powerful in 10 main languages. I've only tried it in English. I don't know.
I've only tried it in English as well.
Yeah.
I like what Con said over garbage in and garbage out. I mean, that's what I was feeling like, when I was telling you that before, Laura, that it got kind of dumber. I just felt like it was getting taught like really obscene things. Like now it just says, I can't write a carousel for you because you've got to go to Canva to write it. Like who taught it that?
It's like are you feeling lazy, Mellonie?
Big powers up there telling it what it can and can't do. Like this is where you got to go. Like I'm already seeing advertising happening, with name drops of companies of where you can go to create carousels. So, what did that cost?
Exactly. And now we are half an hour into our chat. We're going to start wrapping it up slowly. If anybody has additional questions, we're very happy to answer. I have another one. What other tools did you try that has built-in AI? You mentioned, for example, it cannot read. Somebody said like video might be better. Like there are already tools that it's like only the talking head and you don't know if it's me or somebody else. Did you try anything else?
So many tools have it already built in. So, Canva has it built in. I think Otter now has it built in. Notion, I don't know if you guys are a big user of Notion, has it built in. Look, I tried Mid-Journey, obviously, because Mid-Journey is the one that is generating the image that would go along with your caption. So you can prompt it. One thing that I will give away to you guys before we finish up, because I did say we would talk about one of the largest influencers right now in the
Oh, yeah.
ChatGPT
Right.
space. So
Oh, Siri. Yeah,
you can
yeah.
Google Hasid. I don't know if he's come up. He comes up every day. Like, it's pretty strong following from nothing, but he gives away every day. Like, he's showing up and talking about so much,
Yeah.
so much tips on. He's basically doing carousel posts. But yeah, if you really want to know all the prompts, he literally sits there and goes in and spends hours and hours with how to do the ChatGPT and how to pop in essays and how you can write essays using it. He's a deep thought leader, how to use Mid-Journey. So I think if you really want to know, I think he's really become on my feed a lot. So all the prompts and everything that you need, even his carousel designs, how he's doing that, he's giving that away.
Yeah.
It's pretty strong.
And Melanie, you exposed another person and gave the value to that person to get more followers. Can we have a little chat about what does your company do so people know what they can reach out for you for?
Sure. So we help position you as a thought leader by creating high value content. So if you were to work with us, we really help, LinkedIn being the really, really core platform that we own, because we think, you can't be an expert in everything. So on LinkedIn, from video content to carousels, we really specialize in getting that thought out of you. We've got a special framework and a platform that we're constantly collecting thoughts from you so that you can be out there and positioned as an expert. So you've got a team of ghostwriters, strategists, graphic designers, video editors, all at your fingertip, helping you produce really high quality, high value content, and having someone filter that and going, yes, that's good enough. That's actually going to hit on LinkedIn. So that's where we're all about.
That's very useful, especially for the busy people who know they have to be on LinkedIn, but do not have the time to spend to do that.
Exactly. Time poor. And then, you want to know about how to do the outreach program. We also blend all that whole system in for you. So I think it's great for people that are really time poor and want to work with an expert and become like a thought leader. Yeah. Thank you for asking that.
Really lovely. Melanie, thank you so much for joining us today. It was really exciting. Thank you for sharing the tips. People go over and start following Melanie for even more tips, not only in ChatGPT, but a lot about personal branding and being active on LinkedIn. You've got a lot of following. I'm really impressed. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you so much, Laura, and good job on yours. I've seen you double really, really fast. So well done with the consistency.
Thank you, everybody.